Mainstream media is doing everything they can to soften the message that Trump just delivered in this simple black and white statement. President Donald J. Trump imploded global politics. NATO goes on notice. Russia, Readies, it's all, I'm telling you, all about to explode. And that's the story I'll bring you here in just 1 minute.
Science.
Sir, who do you think the leader of the Democratic Party is right now? Democratic Party is right now? Right now?
Who are the Democrats? I can't wait for an answer. I want it in the comments below. Who are the Democrats and what do they represent right now? Fragmented? Understatement. Disaster? Understatement. Self-fulfilling nightmare? Probably closer to the truth. You gotta go ahead and claim that Elon Musk gave the Hitler sign, and then you sit there in front of everyone and do the same thing. Mainstream media, of course, doesn't touch it. It's not convenient to the narrative of maintaining the order that they so miss, right? Everything is breaking loose right now. Before we get to the headline story, the head of FBI field office in New York, James Dennehy, has just been forced to resign his post. He claims he was not given a reason why, but the Department of Justice has accused his office of refusing to hand over a trove of Epstein documents to Attorney General Pam Bondi. After President Trump was elected, Dennehy also told his office to dig in. So then he leaves the building. Appropriate how he left the building. I'll let you listen to it, then I got a few things to say about it.
An extraordinary scene outside of the New York FBI office in the last hour. Assistant Director in charge, James Dennehy, who was forced to resign under pressure this week, left the building to cheers from hundreds of his colleagues.
Celebration? I don't think so. No, to me, those bagpipes signify something much, much different. What they signify to me is we need to fire a lot more people. The end of the era is here. You have nothing of substance remaining. Nothing. Except sound bites and talking points. Except, let me correct that statement. Inaccurate talking points and inaccurate sound bites. Or deceptive. Like we always have. We're going to call it out. And this article right here, oh, doesn't this paint a whole different picture? And it's the message I'm going to bring you in just 1 minute after this very important word from our sponsor.
Well, we've been told all our lives that these wrinkle creams that we are using on our face are the way to look younger. However, according to Dr. John Lake, he is a world-renowned Beverly Hills expert. He has just come out and stated that most of these wrinkle fixes are nothing but glorified moisturizers. Well, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from these mainstream practices so that he can focus on revolutionary anti-aging breakthroughs. His personal clients, including myself, have dubbed this do-it-yourself technology as the age rewinder method because it literally takes decades off of your skin in the matter of minutes. I want to encourage you to check it out. All you have to do is go to bhmd1.com/haven, and they have this amazing video that's gone viral with over millions of views. Watch it, and you can learn a little bit about this amazing technology and then take that next step to get better skin and better younger looking skin. Again, that's bhmd1.com/haven. If you're on your cell phone, click that more button to get more information or click the link in the description box below. All right, back to the broadcast.
There's no calming down at this point. Hunter Biden asked for laptop data case to be dismissed, citing financial problems. I wonder what happened. Suddenly you can't afford to litigate your cases? Wow, isn't that a coinky-dink? Seriously, on the Hill, Hunter asks for cases to be dismissed because he has sudden financial problems. What question does that beg for you? I wonder. I can't wait to read it below. What question does that beg for you? Where and why did the money suddenly run out? Who are these Democrats, I wonder? Firebrand Jasmine Crockett. Let's cover her next before we get to the main story.
And as they have decided to go after immigrants and things like that, and they've said, oh, they taking your black jobs. They taking your black jobs. Not really. They are obviously jobs that they want us to go back to, such as work in the fields, all right?
Yes, the Republican Party wants you to go back to working the fields. Jasmine Crockett, the new firebrand, a new representation of the Democratic Party, the divide and conquer queen. Except it's not really the Jasmine Crockett you think it is now, is it? Maybe time has changed her. Maybe she just suddenly had a completely different background than what everyone expected, except for when you use facts. Why don't you listen in here for a moment and tell me what you think now about Jasmine Crockett. As a matter of fact, before I play this for you, let me remind you, Jasmine Crockett wants you to think she's from the hood, that she grew up on the streets. The exact opposite is true. She attended an exclusive day school where tuition is nearly $35,000 per year. How many of you had that opportunity? She also attended Rhodes College, a private school where tuition is nearly $55,000 per year. Wait now, something stinks again, doesn't it?
First of all, it's good to see you in the new year. You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like.
No, I know. I know. I know what you're thinking. That's the wrong clip, Justice. No, it's not the wrong clip. That is Jasmine Crockett. Sounds slightly different, doesn't she? Maybe she went to the Kamala Harris School of Voice Inflections. Let us continue before we get, so we can get the real impact of this.
A little bit over a year ago that I would be running for Congress. It's just not what my plan was. But what I've always decided is that I would step up when there was a need. Listen, he up there, he's spewing all kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we weren't gonna sit for that shit. We wouldn't, you know.
Let me just be real was the operative statement there, wasn't it? Let me just be real. Well, we'd like you to be real. We'd like the majority of Democrats to be real. We'd like you to stand when honoring a child cancer patient. We'd like you to stand when honoring the memories of those who perished due to horrific crimes committed against them. But reality isn't what you stand for, right? Hakeem Jeffries coming out chastising the Democrats. How dare you do the display you did because, well, let's just put it in what he wanted to say. It really didn't work the way we thought it would. Jasmine Crockett claims she received racist hate mail created with letters cut from newspapers while at Rhodes College, but when pursuing this further, the Tennessee Star publishing this, Jasmine Crockett silent amid lack of evidence for alleged 2002 hate crimes. They couldn't find any police records, but I guess facts and evidence isn't the Democrats' strong suit now, is it? No, it's talking points and sound bites. Always has been, always will be. But don't worry, they got the media behind them, right?
Where he beat up this guy on television, he and J.D. Vance, and they just did it in public, so we all know what Donald Trump thinks of Zelensky, all because this is what Trump thinks, and that's what it's about. It is Mussolini. It's about believing the leader.
Trump, it's Mussolini. There we go again, right? It's a common freaking talking point, isn't it? Quick pause. Hey, I hope you'll support me simply by clicking on that subscribe button above if you like the news I'm bringing you. Sometimes you see it here and sometimes you see it on that channel. And I'd love to have you there. Lisa would love to have you there. So no matter what we're presenting, you get to get the message from both of us every day. I love you all. Always backing him up, always helping to manipulate that story a little bit more. Marco Rubio and Elon Musk had knockdown, drag-out fight on Thursday, and Trump sided with Rubio. Inside the explosive meeting where Trump officials clashed with Elon Musk, Trump administration... Wait, now, what does it say in this article? Marco Rubio was incensed. Here he was in the cabinet room at the White House, the Secretary of State seated beside the president and listening to a litany of attacks from the richest man in the world. Seated diagonally Opposite, across the elliptical mahogany table, Elon Musk was letting Marco Rubio have it, accusing him of failing to slash his staff. "You have fired nobody," Mr. Musk told Mr. Rubio. Then scornfully added that perhaps the only person he had fired was a staff member from Mr. Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. Big blowout. Dissension in the ranks. Trump's administration is falling apart. That's the picture they're trying to paint. Of course they are. After the argument dragged out for an uncomfortable amount of time. I don't know if you've ever been in a very high-level board meeting, if you've ever been in any meeting, of which even those who sometimes agree happen to disagree. It can get heated. By the way, that's called normal debate, healthy debate. I will call you out if I disagree with you, and we will expand our relationship further. And sometimes it comes at some pretty heavy, uncomfortable cost, doesn't it? But it happens. If it did or not is not the point, but Donald J. Trump had something to say about it. A reporter asks him about the reported clashes at a cabinet meeting between Rubio and Elon Musk, and here's Trump's reply.
No clash. I was there. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup. Elon gets along great with Marco, and they're both doing a fantastic job. There is no clash.
Is there a clash? Was there not a clash? Is it relevant? People can't argue. The minute anybody argues, suddenly there's dissension in the ranks. The party's falling apart. The administration's a disaster. But, of course, the Democrats always have replies, don't they? You remember my second of my least favorite scientist. I hope you know who my first least favorite scientist is. I'd like you to put it in the comments, see if you're right. Maybe one of you I will find in those comments that replied. And boy, you're going to get a gift from Restricted Republic from us. So why don't you go ahead, put it in there before I play my second least favorite scientist. Because when the Democrats lose, they break into, song.
Noble dream. You got that? So it's just all the good people, but the second line, part of this family, and the last line, we're joined together by this noble dream. Do that with me. This is a song for all the good people. Come on. Science. Thank science.
I feel like over the last few weeks, there's been numerous instances of Democrats breaking out into song, and all I've been able to discern is that when Democrats are singing, Republicans are winning.
When Democrats are singing, Republicans are winning. That is freaking phenomenal. He has done such a good job. I heard he's got a payday coming, by the way. But enough of the Democrats for a moment. We have more positive news to report. Because while the Democrats are singing, the Republicans are working.
Big gains for native-born Americans for the first time in 15 months. The job gains for native-born Americans, for American people born in America, exceeded job gains for migrant and foreign-born workers.
Well, that is worth praising. Employment for native-born workers went up by 284,000, while foreign-born workers went down by 87,000. Well, it's about damn time now, isn't it? But remember what I've told you time and time again. All this chitter-chatter's great, but until there's indictment and arrest, nothing will change. Well, it appears Kristi Noem is on that exact trail right now.
Everyone, I wanted to give you a quick update. We have identified 2 leakers of information here at the Department of Homeland Security who have been telling individuals about our operations and putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy. We plan to prosecute these 2 individuals and hold them accountable for what they've done.
And that could result in up to 10 years of prison time, but we will see if they follow through on the commitment now, won't we? Because Trump's been at work, right? His administration's been at work while the Democrats are out singing. Russia's Putin is said to be ready to agree to Ukraine truce with conditions from Bloomberg. Wow, that would never come to an end. So many don't want to see it come to an end now, it appears, huh? So many just want it to continue to go on. Those who are involved in one of my least favorite organizations, NATO. But now Trump. Pay or pray. Because without the defense of the great United States of America, a lot of these countries would be in a world of hurt if an unfortunate conflict ever did occur. And Trump now stating If you don't pay, well, you better pray for a good outcome. Trump cast doubt on NATO solidarity despite its aiding the U.S. after September 11th. See how they just spun that title? How dare we, after everybody helped us so much?
To be looking for
President Trump, on Peter's question, are you going to make that policy, U.S. policy, that the U.S. wouldn't defend NATO countries that don't pay?
Well, I think it's common sense, right? If they don't pay, I'm not going to defend them. No, I'm not going to defend them. I got into a lot of heat when I said that. You said, oh, he's violating NATO. And, you know, the biggest problem I have with NATO, I really, you know, I mean, I know the guys very well. They're friends of mine. But if the United States was in trouble and we called them, we said, we got a problem. France, we got a problem. A couple of others I won't mention. Do you think they're going to come and protect us? They're supposed to. I'm not so sure. You know,
They're supposed to, but I'm not so sure, and I'm not so sure either. As a matter of fact, I think President Trump was being a little softer. How about we state it as it is? There ain't no way in hell they're going to help. We've seen it because what do they want? Ongoing conflict. If NATO members don't pay, U.S. won't defend them. Headline of the day. Have you heard it on mainstream media? I know. A little rumble here, a little rumble there, spun against Donald J. Trump. But let's do some facts and figures, shall we? Evidence, the receipts. NATO defense expenditure is share of GDP. Poland leading the charge at 4.12, Estonia at 3.43, and the United States at 3.38% of GDP once upon a time, 3.71 in 2014, until Trump said, look at the left side of that, and then look at the right. After Trump said, you better start paying your share or else we're going to break this thing apart. Of course, I'm paraphrasing there. Look at how much the spending steadily went up to that 2% level that he demanded at the time. That's not his final demand. 3.71% of our GDP eclipsed pretty much everyone else combined in 2014. Even today, the numbers are staggering. If you take the GDP by country, obviously the United States at 27.72 trillion. Next in line would be the United Kingdom at 3.381 trillion. 3% of that number is what you're supposed to spend on defense. And let's just run the math real quick, shall we? So the United States is putting nearly $1 trillion, $913 billion to be more specific, into this. Defense expenditure as a share of GDP. Poland at that 4.12%, but they're giving more. Well, no, financially they're actually not. It's only $33 billion is what that equates to. In the UK, a measly $75 billion when compared to our tax dollars at $913 billion. Now, why do you think Trump is backing off of them? Pushing them to spend more, understanding they can never spend as much as us. Just looking for them to pay their fair share. As a matter of fact, he doesn't want 2%. He wants it to be 5%. He's run the numbers. He's run the balance. And if we're all going to defend each other, then it's going to cost some money. You just don't get to sit around. So what did that announcement he just made actually mean? Well, if you look at that list again, if you're not paying, you're praying. Because he won't defend you if you're under the limit set of 2%, which would be the Slovak Republic, Croatia, Portugal, Italy, Canada, Belgium, Luxembourg, Slovenia, and Spain. Oh, the Slovak Republic just nipped that in, but I'm sure he'll run another justification on that one. Isn't it funny that Canada's sitting right in the middle of that list? If you won't pay, you better pray that nothing happens. And that's what real geopolitics sounds like. Because those folks, man, they could be in a world of hurt. But what were the repercussions of this announcement, I wonder? Trump goes a step further. Hey, Germany, all those troops we have over there, you and France are saber-rattling a little bit more than I'm comfortable with right now, and you could technically trigger the next world war, so we're considering pulling our troops out of Germany, getting them out of harm's way. Because in addition to casting doubt on NATO's mutual defense pact. What's the rest of the country do? Oh, Poland doubles down. They make things even worse for themselves, don't they? The Prime Minister said the government was also carefully examining France's proposal to include Europe under its nuclear umbrella. Ooh, those are words nobody wants to hear. Hasn't Putin already warned against this? And on top of that, we're going to go ahead and start training all our troops. Get them ready. Poland announces military training plan for all men. Whoa, what have I been telling you for weeks now? They're simply not going to let this go. No, how could you conclude anything but the opinion that they're pushing towards war? And Trump trying to deflect them and back them down, getting Putin to say he's going to come to the negotiating table, but yet they push forward even harder. So what would the logical answer be? At least one man, Orban, saying financing Ukraine's war effort would ruin Europe. At least one person listening to Donald J. Trump. I think a few more need to listen to him. It's a scary time right now. We are sitting on a powder keg. And the likes of Macron and Poland are pushing to light that powder keg. And Trump is taking every effort he can to pull the fuse. How does it end? We don't know. All we can do now is watch and wait as he continues to attempt to maneuver, not only internationally, but domestically. His policies now taking shape, being fought at every turn, a victory here, a loss there. A judge in nation's capital declines to block Doge from Treasury systems. Some good news. AOC campaign aide self-deports to Colombia. Undocumented American. Sitting on that AOC panel, well, he decides it's time to leave as the Trump administration strengthens its position. But we'll have to watch as things maneuver. We'll have to watch as the mainstream media continues to call for things that should never be called for, manipulating headlines to make it appear that everything President Trump is doing is wrong and what they're doing is just and right, or taking it a whole step further.
Representative Green gave them the example. The Democrats are not meeting the moment. It is very clear that Medicaid is on the table. It is very clear that Social Security is on the table. It is very clear that people will die. The baby boomers, the civil rights generation, they knew what they had to do. They were willing to fight and die for their rights.
Wow, so in other words, Representative Green is the quintessential example of what you want to see out of the Democrats, and you want to see a past generation who is willing to fight and die for their beliefs. Now, to me, that's very, very dangerous rhetoric, pretty simple concept, but this is who the Democrats are. Sing all you want, attempt to appear soft, attempt to be something you aren't, but we see you now. Oh, we see you. And your own constituency sees you now. Good luck in those midterms. While Donald J. Trump and his administration are working, you're singing and calling for things that should never be called for, exposing who was the actual party of dissent and violence once again. And I can give you, and I do give you, examples every single day. And it doesn't seem to be softening. Lisa and I will be here to continue to bring you the updates. And we thank you for supporting us and being here to keep up to date in just, well, the last 24 hours or so. That's what we have to present. And it's been like that every 24-hour cycle since President Donald J. Trump took office. Please say a prayer for Donald Trump. He needs it right now. He is entering dangerous waters. We are coming into a whole different phase of this administration. And folks, hate to report it, but necessary to report it. This is when things get ugly. And we'll be here to walk you through it in the most simple black and white terms possible. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless Justice Knight. Signing out.